And now my wife and I, we still have insurance. We don't, but our daughter, she's insured just by the state. So what we've been doing is we've been taking her to the pediatrician, but then trying to double dip and weave in some questions about ourselves. They're like, oh, she grew a couple inches. She looks pretty healthy. I'm like, yeah, she gets acid reflux after like 4 beers. Just give her the Percocet, please.
You're going to absolutely love him. He's a veteran of comedy. He's so funny. One of my new favorites. Get as loud as you can from Mr. Nick Cobb, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, quick question. Anybody else here ever been in a position you couldn't afford a present for your own dad? And you're over like 43 and you're contemplating making him a present? Just like your handprint on a sheet of paper. Cheerio necklace. And I'm like, he's not gonna think that's cute anymore. I'm just gonna nip this in the bud. So I called my dad. I was like, Dad, I'm gonna level with you. I don't know what you want for your birthday this year. How about you just take $60 out of what you normally give me every month? Just take Mom to laser tag. Dutch. Anybody here in therapy? In the back? Right there? Okay. That's it, 2? All right. Anybody else here need therapy? You just can't afford it at all? It's like $400 an hour. Found a way to get it for free. Free therapy. Feel free to do this. Works like gangbusters. Won't cost you $1. Here it is. Free therapy. Here we go. Start setting up job interviews. Every 2 or 3 weeks. Because they ask about you. That's it. That's the whole thing. You won't get the job, but you will get that shit off your chest. The other day, I went in and gave me a resume. They're like, so Nick, tell me about yourself. I'm like, oh, God. Oh, I'm so fucked up, man. Oh, thank you for asking. They're like, what are your weaknesses? I'm like, Jesus Christ. Right out of the gate with the tough ones. What are you going to bring to our team? I'm like, certainly not confidence. It's good to be here. I was just in San Diego and I did a show. And this kid comes up to me afterwards. I mean, he's like 22, 23. He's a kid to me. He's a hipster. He's wearing like a kite, you know. And he comes up to me, he's like, hey man, if stand-up doesn't work out for you, are you gonna go into acting? And I'm like, I don't think that's how backup plans work. Your plan B isn't typically more difficult to accomplish than your dreams. There's nobody out there right now, like, man, if I can't get this dog walking thing off the ground, I guess I'll just have to go back and be an astronaut again. Hey, aren't you going to pay for the Lakers next year? Yeah, I may have to if P.F. Chang's doesn't call me back. You guys ever book a hotel so shitty that Visa calls to see if you've been kidnapped? You book like a Super 8 in Florida somewhere, and a minute later your phone rings. Are you in somebody's trunk somewhere or something? Nobody ever books in advance. And I like that hotel. I like Super 8s because they're everywhere. Wherever you are, there will be a Super 8. And I like the fact that they're single-digit room numbers. There's something really creepy about a single-digit room number. I don't know what it is. Most hotels, they're like, oh, you're in 1420, elevator's down the hall. You're like, okay, Super 8's like, you're in 1 with my friend Dave. It's a weird crowd. It's a weird joke. Any Titanic fans in here? I'm kind of all over the place. Anybody? Huh? Movie or like the tragedy or movie? I'm a big fan of both. I can't wrap my mind though around that band on the Titanic. Like, why would you keep playing? You're not getting rebooked. Why would you keep playing if the ship's going down? And everybody's like, oh, they were playing to relax people. They were relaxing passengers. They're relaxing. I'm like, bullshit. That is not relaxing. If this room suddenly went up in flames, but I decided I'm just going to stay here and carry on performing, would that soothe any of you? But wouldn't that make it even fucking scarier? It would make it a whole lot scarier. If you're crawling out on your hands and knees with a napkin over your mouth and your friend's on fire, but I'm up here like, anybody here from out of town? Like, why is he still performing? Maybe he started the fire. This woman came up to me after a show and she said, I know, it was disrespectful. It's really disrespectful. They were very brave to keep performing. You shouldn't make fun of them. They were very brave. I'm like, they weren't brave. They were cruise ship musicians. They probably just wanted to play their original stuff, and that was the only time anyone would listen. Like, they hit the iceberg, and the singer's like, all right, guys, here comes our new album. Come on. Let's do this. The dog whisperer is coming out again. Did you hear that? Wouldn't it be more interesting if he really were just whispering to the dogs? That's my question. If a woman is like, my St. Bernard won't stop barking. Sure, hang on a second. Hey, why don't you just shut the fuck up? I'd watch that on a loop. I got 2 kids. Anyone else here have 2 kids and less money than when they were 11? That's where I am. My oldest, she's 5. I hope this doesn't happen to anybody in here or hadn't happened to any parents in here. But 2 weeks before she was born, 2 weeks, we lost our insurance. We lost SAG insurance right before she was born. So it was really expensive, but like we went through with it anyway. And now my wife and I, we still have insurance. We don't, but our daughter, she's insured just by the state. She's the only one in the whole family has insurance. 5-year-old girl. So what we've been doing is we've been taking her to the pediatrician, but then trying to double dip and weave in some questions about ourselves. And it kind of works. They're like, oh, she grew a couple inches. She looks pretty healthy. I'm like, yeah, she gets acid reflux after like 4 beers. Just give her the Percocet, please. She has some nagging lower back pain. And then my wife jumps in. She's like, how could she lose like 10 pounds by Saturday? Like she's 28 pounds. Yeah, with a wedding to go to this weekend. My son's 3. He's about mic stand tall. He's ridiculous. He's already got these abs he didn't even work for and like this bleached blonde hair. He looks like Joffrey from Game of Thrones, if you get the reference. Like he just does. He looks kind of like a douche. Like people look at him like he kills whores. That's the kind of look that he gets. He does. And we got him in daycare. And like, I don't know if there are any parents here, but if you're not a parent, let me tell you something. No one gets sicker faster than a kid in daycare. There's no way. It's not possible. They get sick. So you drop off your kid at 8 a.m, they're fine. 2 hours later, you get a phone call like, I'm sorry, your son has syphilis. You got to come pick him up. I don't know what he did, but he's in the painting room now. You just say all these sentences when you have kids that like you've just never said before. And not only have I never said that sentence, no one's ever said that sentence before. That's a new sentence. The other day, I had to look at my son, and I was being really genuine. And I had to say to him, I had to look at him in the eye and say, put your penis back in your pants. We're going to go inside and eat bacon right now. That was just the sentence that I said because we were walking into Denny's and his dick was just out of his pants. Even though he's wearing sweatpants without any kind of a hole or a zipper or anything, his pants were just down enough for it to all be out. And apparently Denny's has an issue with this now. They don't at 2 a.m, but they do after church. They really pick and choose. And I used to like going to Denny's. I used to like to go and watch another parent crack under the pressure of their kids. And I'd feel better as a dad. Like I saw, there was a mom there, about where you guys are, a few feet away. Kid's like 9. And just out of nowhere, she just stands up, points at him, and screams, "Shut up about fucking dinosaurs, my God!" And everyone in the restaurant stood and applauded her. Because nobody wants to hear a kid talking about dinosaurs anymore, and she finally took a fucking stand. She deserves our respect. My daughter just learned shut up. She just learned that, and has been telling me to shut up. And then someone told her my name, my actual name. Past 2-3 weeks, she just follows me around everywhere we're going, just being like, "Shut up, Nick Cobb." Shut up, Nick Cobb. And that was kind of having a bad day anyway, and she said it like 8-9 times in a row, and the last time I just kind of snapped. She's like, shut up, Nick Cobb. And I turned to her. I was like, eat shit. And I had to watch her sweet face do the math. Like, what does dad mean? And she didn't get it, but she knew something was off because the dude in front of us at Trader Joe's just walked out without buying anything. And then my very well-meaning wife taught her my body, my choice, that phrase, which is obviously important to know, certainly for a kid, maybe not a 5-year-old that just repeats whatever she wants and doesn't understand at all really what it means. And then you get stuck in a dressing room and a Marshall's, and she just rips out, my body, my choice, Nick Cobb. And then you just have to leave her there. Hope she can figure out Uber. But this is the most embarrassing thing I've ever heard a parent go through. It was a week before Thanksgiving last year. And she's in kindergarten, she comes home, she's learning about Thanksgiving, she's learning about gratitude, she's learning about race. She comes home, she tells me, my teacher told me the greatest thing. She said, everyone on the planet, everyone's skin is beautiful. Everyone's skin is beautiful. I'm like, that's a really nice message. We're gonna see how this plays out. So then Thanksgiving comes around, I go to my friend's house, he's a chef, he's got 50 people there, none of whom I know. Great spread. And what do? Because it's a big group, start trotting their kids out in front of everybody. What are you grateful for, Taylor? And this boy goes out there and he says, I'm grateful for paper clips. And he got an applause for it. So I knew the bar was low. And then they look at my daughter, they're like, what are you grateful for? She trots out there, sidebar, she is whiter than Hitler's pipe dream. Okay? Just how it played out. So they're like, what are you grateful for? And she thinks about what her teacher just said, and she says, to a group of people I do not know, I'm thankful for my beautiful white skin. I don't know if you've ever seen a child bomb, but she got no applause. So I'm over there like, I should help her out, but then I realized no one knows me here. So I was like, who's that racist bitch? And she goes, shut up, Nick Cobb. You guys have been lovely. I've been Nick Cobb. Thank you so much.
One more time for Nick Cobb, ladies and gentlemen.